Hardforking presents Play to Earn Community.
Join the Discord to learn more.
Welcome everybody to the Hardforking Crypto Culture channel. The show is all about play to earn with my co-hosts and avid gamers, Mathematics and Johnny Gonzo. How are you guys?
I'm the best I've ever been.
There you go. Okay, so as we do on this show, just a bit of a news summary of what's happening in the play to earn space. Then we'll be telling you about Hardforking's initiatives, our scholarships, and would love you to join. Link below to our Discord. First up, Jesse, what's the big news for you this week?
I was just excited to see a bunch of footage of upcoming kind of gameplay dynamics for the Polychain Monsters world. Actually, Mr. Gonzo over here was one of the first people. I don't know how long ago was that? 6 months that you told me about those guys?
Yeah, I think that was April.
Yeah, it was a while back. We grabbed a bunch of that Pmon token. You're able to convert those into these poly monsters, and you could either hold the coin or you could do the conversions. And obviously, I think Jordan both and I did a bunch of converting into these. So we ended up having a ton of these Polychain Monsters in our collection on our website. And the cool thing is you don't have to mint them right away, so you can kind of see how rare each one is and how special one. And then if you like it, then you can mint it straight to OpenSea. But anyways, yeah, recently they just released a whole bunch of information on how the gameplay will be working, and I don't know. Even just when they had pictures up, it looked interesting. But all these new videos, which I'll throw up here, looks exciting. So I'm excited to see how that keeps on progressing. But looks like there's going to be some seriously cool gameplay coming out with Polychain Monsters.
After watching that preview, I think you can see there's a lot of similarities happening with a lot of games where they're taking like Unity free assets and building stuff, right? Like you can tell, from my experience in gaming, that a lot of that stuff is like mix and match from like different projects, like you can get free trees and a free lake and a free pier, and they've started mixing it all together, and you can see, and they said it's built by the community, which is, I think that's pretty impressive, which would explain a bit of the cut and paste feel of it. The trailer is impressive as far as that they've got something together, and if it is actually just made by the community, that's crazy. And to see that they're working on the game mechanics and all that stuff, which is good. The timeline fits about right, I think, because it's been 6-7 months, and starting to see a bit of okay, we've put some stuff together in 3D, we're working on the mechanics. So I don't think it's quite there yet, but it's definitely getting there. And it's good the way, originally when you minted them, or when you got your Pmon, they were all on Ethereum. So, it was ridiculously expensive to mint, and I didn't mint any really, but now you can mint them more easily on Polygon, which is great, much cheaper. So there's a ton of those things floating around, and it'll be interesting to see if we can actually start earning with those.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Wait and see.
Very good. We'll get to our Hardforking play to earn initiatives in a moment, but other news of note, a project that we've followed extensively over the last few months is Light Night. Obviously, being a Bitcoiner, followed this closely, very, very closely. So they are very close to releasing their game mode. Light Night fans have been waiting eagerly for that. So what is Light Night? If you don't know about it, basically you can earn Bitcoin by shooting other people. So link below if you want to check that game out. They've also got their third generation NFTs, 300 of them. They'll be releasing on October 2nd.
Sean, about Light Night, it's not free to play. It costs $20. But if you use our ref link in the thing below, it's only $15. So that's the thing with that game, is that, you pay for the game. It's minimal cost, $15, $20. And then once you're playing it, it's like mining or a faucet. Every time you play, you get a little bit of Satoshis. Keep playing, get more Satoshis. You rank up, you level up, you get more Satoshis. And then with those Satoshis, you can buy new skins, new NFTs, right? And those skins, I think they give you level ups. I'm not sure, but otherwise, even if they're just aesthetics, the way skins go with games, even if they are just aesthetic, they have value. So it's a good one, I think, if you got an extra $15 kicking around. to pick up and start playing. I mean, stack those sats while you're having fun shooting your friends.
Yeah, so moving on to one of the major projects that we've been covering for a long time is Nine Chronicles. Personally, I've become massively addicted to this, believe it or not. I actually held the #1 ranking for about 30 seconds. So look, I really like this game. The path it's set off on to be decentralized, I think is very unique in the gaming space. The gameplay is fantastic. The graphics look great. On the negatives, a lot of people that I'm trying to sign up are having problems with long downloads and the invitation links, which reset every 3 hours. So look, we will have the founders back on very shortly, I think after Season 1 finishes, which is in about a week and a half. Other news out of that project is that as of tomorrow, after the Korean holidays, it looks like they're reducing a lot of the upgrade fees, which have been quite high. How that impacts somebody like myself who invested tokens in these upgrades, we'll wait and see. But yeah, look, my summation on this game, for me, it's personally my #2 game after Axie Infinity. I really rate this highly. I think there's a great team behind it, a lot of very well-known VCs. So go check it out if you haven't. It is effectively in a bit of a pre-release at the moment. They're calling it Season 0. There's limited spaces, but what I have noticed after week 1, there was around 1,000 people playing. That has quadrupled since then, so a lot of interest in this game. Nine Chronicles, go check it out if you have not. Also, the guys did a stream on Nine Chronicles a few days ago. We will be doing that on the regular. We're also looking for a community manager. We're interviewing some people at the moment, so if you are interested, please get in touch with us. What are your thoughts on this, Mr. Gonzo?
The bit of alpha here. With the last update, they changed the minimum value on the marketplace. Before it was set at 10, and then because of the the price increase in Nine Chronicles, you're paying like, you want a good weapon, it's like $150. So they repegged everything so that the minimum could be 1 NCG. So if you're smart and savvy, you like flipping NFTs, I think there's a huge opportunity in there that, because some of the milestones in the game are selling 50 items and buying 50 items, right? So for the longest time since the beginning, everything's been too expensive and a lot of people aren't buying and selling and flipping. So I think right now, if you have a bit of knowledge of the game, how the CP works, right? And how the items work and what the strengths are of the weapons, you'll be able to find a lot of deals and buying stuff for like 1-2 NCG, because people are just trying to dump and make up those rewards to buy and sell. That there should be lots of opportunity for flipping there. Buy for 1-2 NCG, sell for 10 NCG, even some stuff, that it's just going to make it more competitive, the marketplace. So, if you like doing that kind of stuff, you've done that on other NFT marketplaces, I think there's quite a nice little niche here. You could probably flip some NFTs to make some NCG. So if
I've been doing more buying than selling. Have you tested the liquidity, the sort of trading of these assets as yet?
Yeah, nothing sells because it's all too expensive, right? Mostly.
Right.
So the only thing that, it's like cases like us where people have a bit of NCG and they're impatient, so they want to level up. Instead of like crafting and crafting and crafting and crafting, you just buy kind of the best CP weapon that you can find for the lowest price. So, but again, that's why there's going to be an opportunity here, because everything is getting repegged, right? And nobody really knows the accurate market value yet. So if you're willing to get in there and spend a bit of time, just like look at all the swords, right? Which has the best CP? And if you look at the first page, CP is the highest on the top left, and then everything on that page, the lowest CP, you're gonna have a range of about like 3,000 or 4,000 CP, I think. And you'll see everything will be about similarly priced. And then you have like 2 or 3 outliers that are like way cheaper than everything else. Those are the ones you pick up, and then you can relist them for even half the price in between what you bought it for and what the rest of the market is selling for that CP value. And so that works all the way down, all the items, belts, rings, armor. So you just got to figure it out and spend a bit of time understanding how the mechanics of the weapons work in the crafting. So I think, that's a good one. If you're already in the game, spend a bit of time figuring that out, and I think you'll be happy in a month or two.
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, it's an awesome opportunity to get on board something early, and I do think this game's going to be around for a long time. A lot of these other gaming tokens that you see touted around, they are just still trailers. There's no actual game. These guys have got an actual game. Check out the founder interview below, link to that as well. Mathematics, what do you think of it? You've been playing it for, what is it now, a week or two?
I finally hit
The wall.
Feels like a bit of a wall. I didn't realize until now that I was able to join this, what is it, Mimi's Bruner, the fire levels?
Mm-hmm.
I decided to start doing that because the normal levels, I just keep hitting the wall. So I'm not sure at this point, at this level I'm at, which is probably higher than your average player.
What's your level?
I'm level 191, my hero.
That's high.
Yeah. At this point, I just leave it on repeat and lose and lose.
But
and
you
lose.
can go back and acquire more equipment to re-challenge.
You mean like go back to lower levels?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, because you'll see like in your workshop, right, you have the red dots, the things that you have to acquire to craft the next thing in the list. And usually if you craft all those items or you get the items that you need, it will give you enough experience to go to the next level. Or the other thing that you can do if you keep repeating the same level and you can't pass it, you got to go to consumables, right? Have you done that yet?
I've been adding a whole bunch of consumables. My question also though is that all these items that I'm getting recipes for, they look fine and good, but they don't compare to the items that I already have in my inventory.
Right, that's because you bought a bunch, right?
Right.
But for the consumables is the key, right? Like if you got a level where you can't pass, double stack your crits, like you get the fancy canned tuna, which is like 25% critical. Stack that twice, you get plus 50% on your critical, and then you add a bit of like the tasty beef, right? So that gives you like another 1500 HP. So between those two, you should be able to pass any boss level.
I mean, at this point, my consumables are, I only have 2 rows left of consumables not filled up.
But those are you get those from your
You can buy those anytime.
PvP. Well, you can. Yeah, that's one of the good things about the reorder or the restructure, is that you can get those critical cans of tuna for 1 NCG a piece now.
Oh, are you kidding? They're 1 NCG. I spent a ton of NCG paying 10 for those.
But you also get those right from doing the PvP, right? When you get the PvP, you get your canned tuna and your tunas. That's how you make those if you don't have the money to buy them. But the cheapest thing now is you just buy the critical tunas on the shop for 1 NCG. And if, again, you look, the critical ones for 10 are 1, and then you go up the second page, there's a bunch for 1, and then there's the 25% ones also for 1 NCG. So you pick those up. So again, like I said, there's lots of opportunities in that shop now that they've restructured it.
Okay. Yeah, and also the other big takeaway there, Jesse, is if when you're banging up against that wall, just go back and repeat the level. You acquire more assets. Then you've got to try and match why are you losing? Should I increase my critical, increase my HP, increase my attack? So it gets pretty strategic as you get higher. It's not
Got it.
Yeah, I feel your pain. I've been there myself for the last week.
Can I give you one more tip there, Sean?
Sure.
On that one?
Absolutely.
So you get, when you're in the workshop, you're going to see like your next item to craft, and you click on it and you see like there'll be one item in red, like say you're missing tree sap or like a green elemental or something. So you got to find what you're missing, and then you go back. Sometimes, like I've had to go back like 20 levels, 30 levels to find that item that I'm missing, and you just find a level like 2 or 3 in a row where you can play those levels and get those items that you need. And if you just increase your crafting, that will help you pass everything else too. So.
Correct. Yeah, the last couple of days that I've sort of cottoned onto that, I sort of charged in like a bit of a madman acquiring assets. But yeah, that is it gets more intricate. Something I'm really liking about the game for me that it's going to give it that long-term viability. There's quite a bit to it. So we want to introduce you to our new community manager. This is Jing. She's helping us with the Rev Racing initiatives. Here's a little clip with her.
Hi everyone. Hi Rev Racers. I am Xing and I will be the one to manage your cars. Have a good day.
So tell us about what's happening at Rev. What's going on for the Hardforking scholars, Mr. Gonzo?
Well, last week we we started the scholarship, which is pretty cool. You know, they had the one season with YGG Guild, which was pretty fun because what they opened it up to free to play. So every car would give you 20 free tries. There was a couple technical difficulties with the Matic network last week. So personally, like I played my 20 tries, but I only actually got to race 5 times. Those 15 other tries were all like network errors. They would take my credits without letting me race, which, you know, kind of growing pains again. And for free tries, it's fine. But the new season, which is basically 7 seasons combined into one, and each day you race, you got to pay 5 rev for each try. There's no free tries on this one. And then if you race and you're entered, you get a free car. So that's why that one, it's not free to play, because you basically get an airdrop if you race. And so each day it's a different car. And I think that new season, today's season, is over like in 10 minutes or something like that. So we've got a couple scholars. We brought on 14. And we got 3 guys that actually raced pretty well. So we sponsored them, and we've get them some Rev tokens so they can keep racing and keep improving their times. And the thing with Rev is that it's much more of a results-based scholarship. Like Axie, you know, we have a lot of scholars that we're helping out, and you know, the MMR, the SLP is not so great, but because of the community, you know, and they're good friends of us and they're in need, we help them out. With Rev Racing, it's not like that. Basically, you put up, you deliver, you get sponsored. There's no like, oh, just hold the car and play when you like. And it really is, it's a lot more cutthroat. You basically race, you have a good race time, we'll sponsor you to continue racing, get you a better car, get you better tires. So as it is now, we've got 3 guys that are kind of excelling: Kenneth, Bill, and Leanne. Good job, you guys, nice racing. So hopefully with a bit more practice and maybe a controller, you guys will do even better. So it's kind of fun, interesting how that developed. And connected to Rev Racing, they're doing MotoGP, which is bike racing, even faster. And so there was a pack sale registration yesterday and the day before. And in another week, those packs will be available. And I'm sure after those packs are available, we'll be able to race those too. So bikes and cars, good times.
Very good. A couple of shout outs to the community there. So I'll add one myself. My top scholar, Francis. Happy birthday, sir.
All right.
Okay. What's happening in Axie land, guys?
Well, the big news in Axie is the end of season 18, which is pretty cool. We had 6 scholars above 2,500 MMR, which is amazing, which is really great. You know, not quite high enough to place, but you know what? It's become super competitive. I mean, there's millions of players now. So everybody's been learning, but there's a bit of consternation because, you know, the season ended and then the MMR went crazy. People are like, oh, boss, I lost, 1,000 MMR, and other guys are gaining 200-300 MMR. And so the biggest thing there is that there's 2 separate MMR rankings. So in the off season, which is like your permanent MMR, anytime there's not a season, it keeps track of your wins and losses. So once the season ends, you get put back to the MMR you were at before the season started. If you started in the middle of the season, your MMR gets reset to 1,200, which is the start point. So, everybody was checking their MMR and they were freaking out because it's changed. That's why. So we're in the off season. The off season will go probably for a couple weeks until they announce season 19. And while, the off-season MMR goes, whatever you gain, that'll stay like that permanently. When the next season ends, you go back to that MMR. Once the season 19 starts, you get reset to 1,200, and then we start over again. And then the other news in Axie land is everything is bleeding, connected to the rest of the market, right? Bitcoin dumping, ETH dumping, SLP dumping, AXS dumping. All I know is these are the days that you buy. That's all I've been saying is to all my friends that are all looking at everything. Axies are super cheap, AXS is super cheap, SLP is super cheap. So if you have a bit of money in the bank, maybe, buying the blood is what I've been doing the last couple of days. I haven't made any trades in the last couple of days. but I did. Or I haven't in the last couple months, but I did in the last couple days.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of this is sort of macroeconomic driven. We've had this company Evergreen out of China that looks like it's potentially defaulting on property investments. That seems to have flowed through to traditional markets and crypto. But what are your thoughts, guys? Obviously this play to earn space is very new. We haven't really sort of seen how it will be affected by crypto cycles. Me personally, I think you couldn't be in a safer place. That's just my personal opinion, because it's play to earn. There's an actual economy around it, whereas so many of these other things are speculation. Mathematics, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I agree with you that play to earn is play to earn regardless if number go up or number go down. I agree that, and I agree with Jordan in a sense that I just swooped up a bunch of AXS because it's pretty rare to see prices as they are today, and I spend much more time saying, "Damn it, AXS is expensive. Damn it." So if anything, in the play to earn world, this is almost a good thing in a strange way.
We're starting to get enough runway here where, Sean, we can just look back in history and see what happened. Remember last year, about this time, September, October, November, everything bled out. And what did we do then? We built our scholarships then. We gained more scholars. We gained more Axies. We built at that time. Yeah. The SLP was under 5 cents at that time, like 3.5 cents. We were still onboarding scholars, right? They weren't like, "Oh, boss, it's too cheap for SLP. I don't want the scholarship." No, everybody wants scholarships because it's still better than the opportunities that they have in most of their lives, like no job, no opportunity, right? This is still, even though the price is down, all the people complaining about the prices are the ones that bought the top when the massive hype wave came with Axie, right? And so you just have to be a bit patient and understand that it's not a short game, it's a long game. The runway, it's growing. There's adoption is still happening. There's more Axies growing. The team is still building. They might not be building as fast as everybody wants. Like, "Oh, SLP's tanking. Adjust everything. Change it so that everybody's making more SLP right away." No, you can't do that. Like there was that exploit with the energy system, so they had to adjust it and the breeding. And now it's run for a little bit, right? We go through a bit of an up cycle, a bit of a down cycle, see what happens. Now I'm sure they're going to tweak it here in the next week or two. When the new season comes out, there's lots of other things expected. They won't give you any dates, of course, but it's not going to be long-term pain like this, I don't think.
No, I agree. Okay, fantastic, guys. I just want to reiterate, if you haven't joined our community, there's a link to the Discord below. We are growing rapidly. We'd love to welcome more people to it. We're not here to shill you coins. We're here to build a play-to-earn community. We're hiring within the community at the moment, so come join us.
I wouldn't mind going over Gala a little bit. There's some big news over there.
Sorry. Yes, I forgot about that. My God.
So last week, the biggest news was that Gala was listed on Binance, which brought a ton of exposure, and normally that kind of exposure just leads to like coin speculation. But what it did with Gala is it showed everybody, hey, Gala nodes, look at this, right? And so people were reviewing the tokenomics of Gala, and the way it works is, every 100 nodes, the price goes up, right? And in the last 3-4 days, we were at 11,000 nodes, and now we're at 14,000 just in the last couple of days. So, more people are buying nodes. They're seeing the benefit of being in long-term of this play-to-earn system, right? And kind of that was last week's news, but this week's news I'm pretty excited about, and I totally saw coming, but the Town coin. So Town Star, they've released the official name and their new, it'll be the fuel for Town Star basically, right? So, you're gonna craft stuff, you're gonna get rewards in Town coin, which will be traded on Uniswap and all the other it'll be like SLP, right? So your Town coin will be your SLP for Town Star. So we have some scholars that we've sponsored already, Pusa and Ramen. They've got some nice NFTs. Pusa placed 360 or something like that in the last one. So she's getting close to actually placing to receive some Town Star rewards, which is great. And Ramen, he's just learning too. So if there's any other scholars that are interested in learning Townstar, it's similar to Axie, right? Like there's no like jump in and you instantly win. You need to learn. It's like so much like SimCity, right? You got to put the factory by this and to keep it away from that, and then you got to have water for the crops, and those go there and this goes there. So once you learn the basic mechanics of the game, this is the best time to do it now because it's going to keep growing and it's going to be earnable, and it's also free to play.
They've also just hired the head of mobile gaming from EA Sports, has just come over and joined Gala Games, which is a massive indication of where things are going. I had an interesting meeting last night with some people helping us with some marketing. They couldn't quite understand why these big gaming studios are not in the blockchain and play to earn yet. I'm sure they will be at some point, but basically what we're seeing is their employees leaving those companies and coming into the blockchain space.
It's like turning the Titanic, right? Like these are huge, massive businesses that have built on a model not including NFTs and crypto, right? So you're basically like rewiring the basic infrastructure of all these studios, so that's why they're not doing it. It's way too big of an undertaking for them to do that, I think. That's the reason. And also from Gala, right, we saw another game come out, an alpha test for spider tanks. They released a couple exclusive NFTs that are only available for 2 more days. These whale sharks. That's fun. Me and Jesse played that on Friday, and it's a totally fun little game. You get to like, you run around, you shoot your buddies, and you can swap out the tanks with the weapons, and it's location based. So we had on the stream, we had Boy Jims. He was playing with us. So that's a super fun game. If you guys, they're gonna do another beta test, I heard, on Wednesday. So you download the game, play it, and I'm pretty sure that, it's another game where if you adopt it early, you'll probably get rewarded. Same thing with Townstar. So, get in early, use the stuff that's usable, and more than likely you will get rewarded. Just another tip there. So yeah, busy times, man, and play to earn. Like you almost miss the fact that the market's bleeding.
Look, exactly. I've kind of stopped looking at the prices. For me, it is, being involved in this play to earn space, seeing where there is adoption, who's actually got a product. It makes life a lot more livable thinking that way about crypto. And I'm so excited that we've got in so early on this. Would like as many of you to join us. All right, thanks for watching our Play to Earn show, everybody. I'll be back here tomorrow if you're interested in trading with Baloo, Thursday with Jesse and Leanne, and we'll be doing more streaming later in the week as well. So if you don't know about gaming, if you don't know about Play to Earn, follow this channel, subscribe, hit that like button, tell your friends about us. See you all very soon. Cheers, guys.